Hey everybody, watch this review here, and I hope everybody had a happy Halloween. It's actually not Halloween here yet. I'm actually filming this much earlier, so I have another, today's the 2nd? I've got another, no, today's the 3rd. I've got another, 28 days until Halloween hits here, but by the time when I upload this, Halloween's already over and gone with, but you know, it lives on our hearts, and at least and my decorations, which will stay out at least another week. But you know, nobody takes down their Christmas tree right away. Why should I take down my Halloween tree? But today I'm going to be looking at Ibuki from the, what was it? I can't remember the company that did this. Sota. Yes, Sota. I'm not a huge fan of Sota, but I like Ibuki. She premiered in the Street Fighter 3 series. I played against her and as her in Alpha, but other than that, I don't know a terrible amount of the character. I've heard rumor that she's going to be in Super Street Fighter 4, which I am looking forward to, although I did buy the regular Street Fighter 4, which I'm now disappointed about because $20 seems like a crap deal for the game, open/new, when you've got the new and improved version that's going to come out for a bit cheaper than the usual mark in probably within the year. But enough about that. Ibuki is a ninja, obviously. Other than that, I can't remember a ton, but she has a kick-ass little raccoon accessory, which I was iffy on it, but then I saw the raccoon, I was like, I want that raccoon. I love the mini accessories, but instead of having real articulation, Sota does. Actually, all the people who've done the Street Fighter series, including I think Nika or NECA, took care of the most recent ones, the Street Fighter 4s. I can't remember offhand, but they have the different hand attachments. She obviously comes with a shuriken, or a kunai knife, actually, it's not a shuriken, and some other stuff. But other figures in the line are Remy, who I've actually never played as, but I bought the figure partially because he's got the same name as Gambit, and he's a pretty cool looking dude. I kind of wanted to get the Akuma, but I don't think I found it cheap. Birdie kind of wanted, but couldn't find him at all at the time. Probably wouldn't pay a ton for me. Fei Long I saw, but Fei Long I don't care about. He always kicks my ass whenever I play online. But yeah, I'm going to open this up and we're going to take a look-see. Well, there's an odor I haven't smelled in quite a while. I forgot what these things do smell like. They actually use, it's like a cheaper, it smells a little bit like chlorine, but, I mean, it's not entirely unpleasant, but it's a really distinct odor. It was actually used in a lot of cheaper figures back in the day, too. I'm not sure if it's the paint or the actual plastic itself that gives off the scent, but here's a closer look at the various changes that you can do. I didn't mention it, but this is probably one of the cheapest looking packages I've ever seen. I mean, I think this would probably be unacceptable by most standards. I mean, in the front you can tell it's intentional design, but on the back it looks like it's probably intentional too, but I mean, it's just like there's an excessive amount of blurriness to each of the figures. I mean, it's worse in some than others, but I mean, maybe it's just the effect that that whole really pixelated look in the background has, but it looks just like it's a really blurry production. Like a production error. For people not familiar with Sota, here's some of the other stuff they've done. They put out some horror figures. I actually have that. I actually got it recently too. The werewolf from the, what was it? Dog Soldiers. Okay-ish movie. I'll discuss it later on in the month, obviously. Meg Mucklebones from, I think it was Legend. Was that the name of the movie? I think it was Legend. Darkman from the eponymous Darkman series. Boogeyman from the Jeepers Creepers. He might have been from Legend too, but I can't remember who he's offhand. He looks crazy familiar, but I don't know where I know him from. Then the Street Fighter line, they did Bison, who I do want. Scott, who I want, but I haven't seen. Cammy, who I definitely want. And Ken, who I'll pick up some point. And who's this up here? Look at that, look at that, look at that. Can't really make him out, but that is Cthulhu, or maybe one of the other old ones, so I definitely want to try to find that, but I have a hunch he's going to be expensive. Whenever I see a Cthulhu figure up anywhere, it's always freaking expensive, because they're always a lot bigger than other figures and so forth, but, yeah. The little accessory is adorable. I don't usually review a ton of the figures in advance, but had to get this out package because I want this little guy to go on, or gal, to go on my desk, possibly even the desk at work, so nobody will know what the hell it is. So, and the actual figure looks pretty decent. Paint looks like it might have a little bit of sun damage. I think the head is removable and you can switch the scarf, and that's what the one attachment over here is, so you can actually see a bit more of her face. Back when I used her, I didn't think she was like a terribly useful character, but the articulation is just really equivalent to a Marvel Legend, actually, and she does look like a better Marvel Legend in some senses. Just because it's actually a pretty decent looking female sculpt from what I can see. Let me pull down Cyclops, who she's a little bit taller than. Which means if I pull over... Where are you? What did I do with my Spider-Man? Here we go. First appearance Spider-Man, who's about exactly 6 inches. Yeah, so... a little bit, looks like a little bit taller than Cyclops, but probably actually isn't. In terms of articulation, you've got a wrist here, because it's actually a peg put in there. It's technically a ball joint of sorts, so you do get the usual articulation from that. Then the wrist will move. Yeah, it's like on all the other ones too. It's a little pin joint for that. Double jointed elbows. Pretty nice. Not much muscular detail though. She does have a bicep joint, but the way that it's done makes it look pretty decent. She's got the bandages right underneath there, so it doesn't stick out as prominently, but there's no muscular toning on the bicep itself, so, or whatever you call that muscle. I think that was the bicep, but head will move. Scarf will move with it, so you can't really see her face most of the time, but and the face doesn't look spectacular anyway. I think you could probably take the head off, but I'm not going to attempt it until I confirm it. There's nothing mentioned on the package, but it's just an assumption. The hair, of course, can't move actually. Ab/diaphragm joint, but it won't go a whole. Ow. A whole lot of distance just because it's got this on this side, sort of pins into place. Your usual leg joint. It's a pretty decent leg/hip joint. There's paint discoloration here. I'm not sure if it's from bleed. It looks like they used more of spray paint to do it, and it's just really visible that the paint was sprayed on. It's a solid tone for all the costumes, solid tone for all the flesh. Flesh tone is basically the same as the face tone, so no problem there. Head looks a bit small for some reason, but with a cloak you don't really, the scarf you can't really tell. Double jointed knees. Actually, the knees are different sizes too, it looks like, which is kind of neat. Just for, I guess it's to simulate how the cloth would move when she's actually fighting. There we go. One knee or leg is always more stiff than the other with figures. It's weird, but that's just how it goes. Very natural looking calf joint down here, which will go with 360. Just because that's the end of the cloth and so forth. Ankle/foot joint. And she's got a toe joint. Yes, she runs around barefoot. Something that's always kind of bothered me about the character. But yeah, I never really used her all that well in the games. I was more of a, how do you call it, a Shotokan player, where you like your Kens and your Rios and the guys who play like that. Although I also liked Adon, who plays a bit different. And I started to really learn Zangief in Street Fighter 4, but I never played with him well. I also liked it. I think, what the hell is the other one? shoot, that new one they introduced. That it's another wrestler, but I can't remember his name offhand. But yeah, it's an okay looking figure. I think the line's probably pretty decent. I'll be reviewing the Rummy a bit later. Actually, I'll probably film it and upload it at the same time. I might pick up some of the earlier stuff. Like, I really want that Ken, want the Cammy, want the Sagat, of course, and Bison. Ryu, maybe, not sure yet, but that's the review. Have a nice night.